I'd like to talk to you about the taro root. Taro is this root vegetable that actually is similar to a potato in some ways, more like a yucca in other ways, but another root vegetable that grows under the ground that you can actually cook up in many different ways. You'll find it a lot in Asian dishes, and the root itself actually looks a lot like this. This is a taro root that I picked up at the Asian market. And you may be familiar with sort of the markings inside. If you've ever had taro chips from one of these companies that fries up the chips, they're actually from that same root. So I buy these pieces from the Asian market, and then I actually prepare them in the oven, and I make some taro chips that are just outstanding. A lot less expensive and a lot lower in fat than the chips you would buy in the bags. And so I'm going to show you how I make those. Now, you can actually buy little taro, almost like, they look like little potatoes almost, and you can use those as well if you want to have a smaller batch. But we go through them so quickly, it's worth it for us to buy the bigger root and actually make it that way. So I'm going to take you through how to make it, and I'll show you what it looks like when it comes together. And it's really actually pretty cool. So the first step in this is just to go ahead and use a vegetable peeler to peel off the outer skin. Just like you would a potato or a carrot or anything else, you're just going to take off the skin and leave the flesh. That flesh is what you want to be able to cook. So I'm going to go ahead and take a knife and slice it up into parts. Now you could use a mandolin, you could use the knife to actually cut it yourself. There are many ways to do this, but I prefer to just cut it into chunks and then put it in the food processor and let the food processor do the work for me. I find it to be a lot easier. You can see the root is a little thick, so it's a little hard to work with sometimes, especially when you have a big root like this. So the food processor is really, really nice. Once you've got it all cut up, then you've got pieces that look like this. That's my taro, as you've seen. So now I'm going to go ahead and just put them in the food processor with a 1/4-inch blade on it and just let it make slices for me. Very simple and straightforward at that point. All I have to do is just put the chunks in, let it do the slicing, and I'm most of the way there. From there, I'm going to go ahead and take out the blade and put some olive oil on it. I just want to get some olive oil covering it. I'm going to bake these because I prefer them to be baked rather than fried. So I'm just going to put a little olive oil and let it drip down. I'll use my hand to just kind of massage it in so it makes its way all the way through the entirety of the bowl here. But I want to make sure that it's really easy to use that way. Once I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and put them onto parchment paper that's on a baking tray. I have to use 2 of them for a root this size, but I'll just lay them out into as much as I can across, and then I've got something that looks like this. I'll put them in the oven at about 425 degrees for about 30 minutes, and they'll come out really crispy and delicious. So just go ahead and put them in, close it up, and walk away for about a half an hour. After your half an hour is up, you've got something that looks like this. These are the taro chips. They're crispy, they're nice, they've got a really nice feel to them, and mouthfeel when you get them, and they have a nice thinness. They're almost like potato chips, only better. So I'll just take a little salt at this point, just salt them up a little bit. Since they're still warm and got a little olive oil, the salt will stick to them pretty well, and that makes them really, really nice. In fact, I think I'm gonna try one here in just a second because they're that good. They're just really, really tasty. This is one of those snacks that's really nice to have. I have to say, I really enjoy this rather a lot. So that's what they look like, and I'm gonna eat one, and you should give it a try. They're so good. You can just take them, start eating them right away. Or you can take them and put them in a bag or a little container and store them for later, but that never lasts very long in our house. In fact, I just leave them out for like one day and they're gone.